Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is JD. Who's here with me?
It's Michelle.
It's always Michelle. This is the second
Always
time we've started
me.
recording this episode, guys, because the shrewd amongst you will have caught on that we recorded a couple of them early on, and then Michelle and I took a little holiday break, and we can't remember how this show works. So, hi, I guess. Michelle,
I didn't say anything in the first take, so I'm offended that you think I don't know how the show works.
Oh, wow. Okay, well,
I
why
did
don't you
not
tell
say
people how the show
anything.
works then, Michelle?
Ah,
Why don't
fuck.
you go ahead
I
and
truly,
tell 'em?
I don't remember anything. Okay, we
It's
watch
in the
Shudder, and
name, I
sometimes we
think.
watch other things. Yeah, we watch
Yeah.
Shudder. Today we watch Shudder.
Yeah. We got
Simple as that.
Yeah, it's look, you guys, if you haven't figured out what this podcast is about at this point, I don't know what to tell you. We watch movies. We talk about movies. We're talking about a movie today. It's December, guys. How the hell did that happen?
I don't like it.
It's December. We're 24 days away from Christmas. You excited about the holiday season, Michelle?
Yeah, it feels so weird because we're in the upper Midwest, which is famously cold. And today I wore shorts and no shoes to let my dog
Yeah.
out on
Yeah, it's pretty
December
wild.
1st.
Yeah, but
It doesn't feel real.
you know, and like, don't get me wrong. I know that the snow comes sometimes early. Sometimes even as early as Halloween and sticks around. But people always think of December as winter. But man, I promise you, come about the second week of January through the end of February, we're gonna be longing for that mellow start to winter. Like, it's not even
I
technically
love
winter
winter.
yet, Michelle. We got like
I
3 weeks
know.
before it's winter.
I love winter. I
I'm
want it
a,
to
I'm a, I'm a
snow
fan for the most part.
all the time.
Yeah,
love
I
winter.
love snow. I could do without the bitter, frigid cold that we get in those real lean, awful, deep winter days. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that real life horror. We can talk about movie horror. What are we talking about today, Michelle?
It's a wonderful knife.
It's a Wonderful Knife. What do you suppose that movie is kind of related to?
A really good knife. They got one as a Christmas present, and they're like, man, this is a wonderful knife.
Yeah, it was it.
Thank
It was
you
a
so
3-minute
much.
movie. We watched somebody unwrap a knife, and then they said, "This is a wonderful knife."
And we went,
Uh,
they said it. And then the credits rolled.
Ah,
We're like,
credits.
they said the thing. Yeah,
Yep.
it's a wonderful knife. It's kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, but now there's a knife involved.
Right. Yeah. It's a holiday horror movie, horror comedy, and I don't know what else to say about it. It's a holiday. Man, we really have forgotten how to do this podcast. We can't ever take a 2-week break again, ever, Michelle. It's just not
That's fair.
something
when I
we can
watched
ever allow.
When I watched the 77-year-old It's a Wonderful Life from 1946, I was like, man, this would be so much better with a knife in it. So I'm really glad that they brought it back. And they're just like, you know what? Same movie, but now some stabbing. Love
Yeah, this
that.
is-
That's what it was missing.
Yeah, this Jimmy Stewart, he's pretty all right fella, but if he were being chased by a psychotic killer, it would have been, just that
Exactly.
extra
Yeah.
level. Michelle, do you want to share the Shudder summary of this movie for folks? I know it was real short. It's a little very vaguely spoilery, but look, everybody knows the It's a Wonderful Life story, right? So, it's if you don't, I'm sorry. If you don't know, look, this one's on you.
Yeah, exactly. So we're about to spoil It's a Wonderful Life and It's a Wonderful Knife. Not so much It's a Wonderful Knife. Don't be scared. We still have an actual spoiler section. But
for sure.
the description from Shudder does give you a little bit of info, and here it is. A year after saving her town from a psychotic killer, Winnie Carruthers finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe where, without her, things are much, much worse. It's a Wonderful Life Knife Edition.
A Shudder original.
Exclusive.
Is it an exclusive?
Exclusive. Yep, I'm looking at the website. I
Oh,
also thought original.
God.
How dare they? I know. But yeah,
Well,
it's a wonderful
you
knife.
know, it's a wonderful knife. That's what we're talking about today. Michelle, would you like to hit us with your spoiler-free thoughts about It's a Wonderful Knife?
Yeah, absolutely. This starts out super strong. I'm a huge fan of Christmas. I know I'm a basic bitch. I can't help myself. Any Christmas movie is just going to get to me, even like those really sappy romantic ones. I watched a romantic movie, cried my eyes out yesterday. I'm just in the feel good ho ho holiday spirit. Um, it does get messy, which happens with these types of stories where you're doing like a what if they're there, what if they're not there, what if they're traveling through time, that kind of thing. It's not as solid as I wish it had been, but it's really high quality for what it does have. I'm gonna go kind of down the middle, a little bit more positive. We'll go with the 3.5 from me.
3.5 on the five skull scale for It's a Wonderful Knife from Michelle. That's a positive score for sure.
Yeah.
I did not have any idea what to expect going into this. All I knew is it was a holiday themed horror comedy. And I had a good time with this. I agree with you. It kind of gets a little muddled and slow in the middle, but I thought the first chunk of it, especially the first 12 or 13 minutes before the title card, is fantastic. There are a couple little things about it that I just couldn't get out of my head and kept jumping up. Like for example, we'll talk about the costume for the killer in this in a moment.
Yes, we will.
No, overall, I thought this was a good time. Look, there plot holes? Yeah, of course there are. With a movie like this, are there things that just kind of get ignored periodically? Sure. Is it a perfect film? No. Is it something that I would give 5 skulls to? No. It is something that I would give 4 skulls to because again, I had a great time with it. I thought the kills were great. It reminded me a lot of like a weird crossover between an 80s holiday slasher film with a little bit more modern kind of think about like a movie like Shaun of the Dead where it's a horror comedy but there's some real heart there, right? It's not comedy based on the splatter entirely, and there's a little bit more of that I liked this. I had a good time. 4 skulls.
Okay, that gives us a 3.75 skulls out of 5. One of these days I want to see this skull pile. Now that AI can make art, I want to see what AI thinks 3.75 skull rating looks like. I'm going to type
Ooh.
that in right after this call. I'm making a note.
You can't do it, Michelle.
3.75
You gotta stop.
skulls.
You gotta stop feeding information into the AI engines. Knock it off.
Oh, I'm feeding fake information into the robot to make up for it. I've been trying to educate it incorrectly.
Of
That
course,
is my way of fighting
as
back.
as far as the robot is concerned, there is no incorrect information.
Exactly. Tell it whatever it wants. And it's like, humans don't lie. That's a thing I know from my programming.
Fair enough. Uh, oh God. We
Spoiler
gotta move.
section.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to go see this movie before we tear it apart in depth, you're gonna want to pause the episode right about now. Please make sure you come back and listen to the rest of it, or I don't
Oh,
know,
you got to
maybe.
start with the comeback part. They're already gone. They're like,
Oh,
pause it. Done. I was commanded.
are we
We
are
didn't
we
say
still
Simon Says.
we're still beating this joke into the ground, Michelle?
We are. We are.
It mi-
One and a
Look,
half years into this, I
this
still
principle
think it's
principle
funny.
of comedy right here. You never know. Yeah, there might be people in the audience who have seen your show before, but there might be people in the audience who have never seen it, and they're more important. Oh shit, that's not what I meant to say. I love you all, guys. Please don't turn us off. Keep listening. You're the best.
Yeah,
Spoiler
keep us
section.
turned on.
No, wait. Oh, that's the wrong choice of words, Michelle. We should find.
Nope, that was the correct choice.
Was it?
Of
Okay.
words.
Well, all
Yep.
right then. This is the
Okay.
spoiler section now. How do we still have a podcast? Unbelievable. Because nobody will stop us. That's how. Michelle, do you want
They've
to?
tried.
Is this is this the part of the episode where normally then you would summarize everything
Yeah,
for the people who didn't watch the movie for whatever reason, Jenna?
you got it, good buddy. And Jenna, we will go ahead and sum it up. She's gonna get so mad at me. She didn't respond to my
One of these
message a
days,
couple hours ago.
Michelle and
She
I
knew.
periodically get great ideas for T-shirts that we hope to someday make and have as merch for the podcast. We should just get a T-shirt that just says Jenna, and just because it'll be
And not
like
let Jenna have one.
well, like have our logo on it also somewhere so people know it's referencing the podcast. Like we could
guess.
take it and we could put our logo right on the back between the shoulders, right? Just a small version of the logo, but then on the front, just in white letters, it just says Jenna.
I love it. People will be like, "Is your name Jenna?" And just very deadpan. No,
She can be
and
like,
do not
"Will you
elaborate.
fucking people quit talking about me?" Jesus.
No, Jenna, you're great, and I
We love
get
you,
to
Jenna.
bully you.
Anyway,
Okay.
Michelle, tell these people what
The
happens
story.
in this film.
Yeah. So apparently there is a Christmas moon night and he's mad and stabbing everybody. That
Yes,
is a great costume. It's great. Anytime you have Justin Long in a movie, you know something's bad's gonna happen to him. I love that. Are his eyeballs getting taken away? Is he now suddenly a walrus? What's happening? Oh shit, he's a homicidal moon knight. Did
with
not
some
see that one
fucking
coming.
weird fake teeth.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, I could not stop staring at his teeth. Love Justin Long. So Justin Long's there. He's the mayor, and then he's like, "Hey, I want this old dude's house because, or no, he's maybe not the mayor. He's maybe just an important real estate figure. I don't
Right.
know the society of this small town. He's
He's
very
not the mayor.
important.
He's not the mayor
No.
till other things.
Yeah, he's a guy with too much power because that's how small towns work. So he's got all these lots that he's bought, but he wants one more because this guy has been holding out, and he's like, "No, fuck you, Justin Long." And Justin Long's like, "Haha, no, fuck you," and he stabs him. And then he decides to stab a couple more people. And then the main girl, Winnie, she makes him stop stabbing when she takes some jumper cables and she attaches them to him. And now he's well done. You know that you should stop a steak when it's medium rare, but she didn't know. So she just kept going. And he's probably not as delicious as he should have been. And then she like takes his mask off and she's like, "Oh my God, this isn't Oscar Isaac. This is Justin Long." And she's very confused. But then a year later, it's Christmas again, and her family is kind of dicks about it. They're like, "Whatever, we don't care that your best friend was murdered a year ago." And she was like, "I care. Also, why did you get me this pink tracksuit? It is not the early 2000s." And her mom is like, "Honey, the early 2000s are coming back." And when he's like, "Hell no, I don't want low rise jeans that are basically gonna show off my everything if I bend a little too incorrectly." Her mom's like, "Sorry, honey, that's how retro clothing works." And then when he's like, "Fuck no, don't you ever call my childhood retro again. How dare you?" And then she leaves and then she wishes upon a star that she was never born, except the star is the Northern Lights because, you know, whatever, fuck it, we don't care. And now she's living in a world where she doesn't exist. But who does exist? Justin Long. He wasn't killed in this other universe. And his dumbass brother is the sheriff. And they're very funny and incompetent. And she's like, "Whoa, Justin Long's still here? He killed my brother in this new universe. And I don't like that. So I'm going to find a way to take Justin Long down." And then she's trying to tell her dad, Joel McHale, that, "Hey, your boss killed my brother." And he's like, "Bitch, I don't know you." And she's like, "Yes, you do. You're my father." And he's like, "This is a nightmare." And then she stabs Justin Long when he's dressed up as Moon Knight. But it wasn't Justin Long, it was her father. In this alternate universe, her dad's now doing Justin Long's bidding. And then there's a whole thing at the town center where Justin Long is like, "Haha, I win." And she's like, "No, you did not." And then there's this other lady, and her name is Bernie, and she was going to kill herself. And then she confesses to Winnie that she was going to kill herself. And Winnie's like, "You shouldn't do that. By the way, I'm going back to my own time." And then she goes back to her time, and everything's fine except for the people who died at the beginning of the movie. And then Bernie, also not dead, somehow remembers Winnie, and now they're just happy lesbian couple. It's a Wonderful Knife. The end.
Yeah, I think that that was a really solid. Michelle, you get just better and better and better at summarizing these films all the time.
I try to pay attention.
There were
I'm
there
making
were
an effort.
I try to put that. Well, that's probably good. If you're going to have a movie review podcast, you should at least make people think that you paid
Yeah.
attention. I think you did
I
really
don't
well there.
always. I
Here's
try.
what I want to hit on right away, Michelle, because,
Yeah.
like I said, overall, this was an enjoyable movie. It has some pretty obvious. I don't even want to call them flaws, right? There are just places where the people who were making this movie knew what they were making, and they were like, we don't need to explain this, right? This isn't the kind of movie where you expect an explanation from everything. Now, obviously, we don't want things to go completely off the rails, but I gotta ask you if maybe I missed something, and from the way you described it there, I don't think I did. How or why does Bernie remember everything that happened when the idea here is this is an alternate universe and that's not the same Bernie?
I have no fucking clue, no
Okay,
idea. I
cool.
thought maybe they both traveled back to this other universe, but then where would that Bernie have gone? And I
Right.
thought maybe she was showing up to be like, hey, you remembered me from the party yesterday or whenever that was, and I
Mm-hmm.
remembered who you were. And I thought that would make sense. Like she goes to form a friendship with Bernie now, knowing what they can be. But it definitely does not seem like that. It seems like they remember each other, and
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's just that Christmas fucking magic that happens all the time.
Right,
You know,
right.
just sprinkle a little Christmas dust and everybody remembers everyone else. I don't
Yeah.
fucking
So I
Saint
just
Nick.
I wanted to get that because again, I have been known to occasionally miss a detail. Sometimes Michelle picks up things that I don't. Sometimes I pick up things that she doesn't. And I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something. So cool. We're on the same page. Again, like I said, this is a kind of movie where I don't care, right? Like that's the whole point. Is it's if you could make a horror movie that was like a Hallmark Channel family friendly horror movie somehow, this would be it. Right? Like it's very lighthearted. It's funny at times. The slasher elements are really effective and really well done. Some of these kills are fantastic. That one dude, like she's the chick is making out with that dude, and then she's
Oh, I
like, "Oh,
know.
what did you have for dinner?" It tastes and then you see his mouth leaking blood, and then a giant sharpened candy cane gets railed through the back of his fucking head, right out of his mouth. That was in fact, I think that was probably the number one kill in this movie for me. Is there one that you can think of that you thought was better?
I actually really like that one too because
Yeah,
all I
it
could
was
think is
dope.
like, what would someone else's minty blood taste like? And if you're making out with them and suddenly you have a mouth, because when she pulls back, there's blood on her mouth. It was not a hint of
Right.
blood, it was full of minty blood. And I'm just like, oh God, that would be the worst. That's yeah. So I really enjoy that. I do also like when they kill Moon Knight by cooking him. I
Yeah,
thought
and
that was really fun.
that's
Yeah,
the other thing is the instant this dude shows up, I'm like, why is Moon Knight a serial killer? I don't
I
get it.
love it though.
Like
I
Moon
love
and
it.
so I want to ask you something about that too, because
Mhm.
spoiler alert, guys, if this is your first time listening to one of our episodes, we just bounce around all over the place. And
I'm a very
so
bouncy person, like
so
Tigger.
when bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun,
Yeah,
fun.
that's me.
The most wonderful thing about Tiggers is we're the only one. Anyway,
Yep. Both of
so
us
I
together are Tigger. Sorry to
here's
ruin
another
your
question
childhood.
for you that I gotta ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when she goes into the alternate universe, the alternate timeline, there's uh the Christmas tree has an angel. So the town is called Angel Falls, and they've started. We find out that they call the killer the Angel, and then on top of the Christmas tree in the town square, there's an angel, but it looks like the killer. And
Hmm.
so is the idea that the angel killer is called the angel killer because for some reason he dressed up to look like that weird angel on the town Christmas tree? Or did they put a fucking effigy or whatever of the angel killer on top of the town Christmas tree? Because that seems kind of fucked up.
Well, I think you're asking the big who came first, the chicken or the egg thing. Like, did the angel
Oh,
killer
the
come first
chicken
or did the
came
angel on
first,
the Christmas
believe
tree? Yeah, of course, of course.
me.
If you're polite, that's how it works. But I
Well,
think
eggs don't
near
come.
the end, maybe they should. Anyway,
I did not
in
just
my
say that.
alternate
Oh my
universe,
god, I'm such a fucking child.
we both are. It's a wonderful knife.
Oh, it
Okay,
is.
so
It is a wonderful knife.
this is where I definitely checked out a little bit, is where the town gathers and they have like glowing eyes a little bit and they're putting the angel on the tree and it seems kind of cult like. So I think they did build an effigy to this killer and that's why everybody's so chill about it. But adding that element was super weird for me and I kind of
Yeah.
went, I don't care about this logic anymore
And
because yeah, you're right. Why?
that's why it makes me think maybe the because look, anytime you're dealing with alternate dimensions or time travel, there's gonna be like it's inevitable that you're gonna run. So maybe because the impression we got here was that this was like an at least that I got was that this is an alternate universe situation, probably from that description where it says she finds herself in a nightmare parallel universe. But I think if we think about this more as an alternate timeline thing, maybe the idea is that she didn't go back to her own universe, like the timeline rewound to the point where she was previously, and when Bernie got rewound, why would she still keep? I don't know, but yeah, I thought that was super because there's that moment where they kill her dad, her not dad as she describes him. They find out her not dad is in the angel costume, and then they start talking about how like, oh, we somehow made it even worse, as if that like didn't send her to an alternate, like a third alternate dimension. So it seems like again, maybe they're just flip flopping around between parallel universes and alternate timelines, and maybe it doesn't matter. But yeah, so
You're
there.
trying to put a little bit too much science into this
Well,
Christmas magic. It's all just some North Pole bullshit.
you're absolutely right. But no, it was fun. I
Mhm.
did really enjoy Weirdo. I thought she was phenomenal. I may or may not have had a moment where I was like, JD, you're a 43-year-old man, knock it off. She's charming
She's
and
your
awesome.
type.
I want to see a movie where that actress, and I'm sorry, I believe that was Jess McLeod. I want to see her play the older sibling of somebody played by Emma Myers, because I think they look a lot alike and they're also both adorable. I think that would be cool. I don't really know even a lot to say about this. It reminded me, like I said, a lot of classic '80s holiday horror films. I think it's real effective. It's not scary in the least. It's kind of bloody, but that's all there. It's not gory. There aren't guts and everything
It's
spilling
absurd
out
blood.
along the way. A lot of
Hmm.
blood, a lot of blood, but that's as significant as it gets. A little bit of a neck wound when he kills the cigarette smoking man from the X Files there at the beginning. Or no, that wasn't the yeah, that was the smoking man. Yeah, not Deep
I
Throat. That
believe
was
you.
that was the smoking man. But no, it's a good
I
time. I think it's a good one to maybe crack out. In those days when the holidays roll around, and you're like you want to watch some kind of fun holiday horror film, but also don't want to have to get too significantly invested in something. It's just quality work. Everybody making it clearly was having a good time. I had a good time. What else? What else is there to say?
It started out super solid. Um, I think if they had taken out a little bit of the complexity, actually a lot of the complexity, it would have been way
Yeah.
more enjoyable in that second half. I did really like that we got the killer reveal very early in the movie, so I thought we were gonna see like, this is a play on It's a Wonderful Life, but maybe we're gonna see something brand new and refreshing. We're not spending the whole time trying to figure out who this killer is. But that did mean that when she went to the alternate universe, I immediately went, "Oh yeah, it's your dad. You
Yeah,
showed us too early.
absolutely.
I know what's going on." All of that said, we said that we enjoyed this, but that there were some spotty moments in
Yeah.
the story. But Michael Kennedy, just got to give a shout out to his other movie, Freaky, because that is a great movie. So definitely got capable writing skills in him. This just got a little bit muddy, which will happen with this type, but goddamn, I love Freaky. It is
Yeah,
so good.
I think a decent amount of what muddied it is um, maybe a little bit too much of the adherence to the kind of parallels to It's a Wonderful Life. I did I thought, especially in the writing again, I thought that was clever the way they turned it into, like, this is almost like in fact, wouldn't even say almost. It's not just a horror comedy, it's a horror romantic comedy, right? Like, it's a meet cute in the middle of a murder spree. And that's a quote that should be on the poster for this movie, frankly. Shudder, are you listening? It's a meet cute in the middle of a murder spree. There you
Great.
go. But I also do like, though, that it only was attached to that gimmick so far, right? And I liked the element of the twist on it where they were like, oh, it turns out you were Clarence the whole time, and she was the one being saved. I liked that. I thought, for that kind of movie, I thought it was really cleverly written, really solid. Not anything that anybody's gonna like, oh my god, this is a mind-blowing, but like I was saying before, clearly everybody involved here had a good time, or if they didn't, they did a great job of making me believe they did. It's just a good, fun time holiday horror movie for those of us who like horror, but also like to have a little fun at Christmas.
Yeah, you gotta like Christmas to like this movie. There's
Oh,
people
for
who
sure.
just hate Christmas, and oh man, they do not like it. They're like, why the fuck is this out? And I'm like, because it's December. That's
Right.
why. Let us be in the Christmas spirit. I'm going to put my Christmas tree this upcoming week. I am so excited. My cats are going to knock all the shit off of there. I'm so excited for that. I'm going to put up some lights. I'm going to bake some sugar cookies. I'm getting in the Christmas spirit. I'm going to wear my fucking Santa hat for 3 weeks straight. Do it. I'm all holly jolly in this bitch. I'm
I,
so excited.
I do want to point out that also just a small thing about this movie that just makes me love it a little bit more is as soon as I saw that moment where Bernie gives Winnie that look in the movie theater, and then they hold hands, I was like, man, there are some people out there who were loving this movie who just completely turned the corner on it just because of that. This is a movie that some people are just going to hate for no other reason than because it has a homosexual or non heterosexual storyline involved, and that sort of thing always makes me happy. Is when the people who have a problem with that get their fucking feathers ruffled. For example, I can't confirm that that's why this happened, but there is a review on the Shudder website. I'm not going to give this person name, the time of day. It's a one skull review. It's one sentence, and this just says, "This movie ruined my day." And like that, first of all, if any movie in the world can ruin your day, my friend, that's on you.
Oh, you are a hypocrite, JD. I've got some of your conversations.
Oh no, but the movies have ruined my day, and it's on me every time. So I won't deny
guess.
that. But I feel in my bones that this is somebody who just really wants to go off about how, why does everybody gotta be queer in these movies these days? Why does everything gotta have a female? Well, first of all, it's a horror movie, dude. They've had female protagonists for a long time. Anyway, I'm in an imaginary world conversation with myself. Michelle, you should probably stop me.
I just love a surprise lesbian. Just any movie you throw a woman. Oh no, JD, are you okay?
I
He was
am.
taking this.
I just almost spit taked my Coke Zero. It's like a surprise lesbian should be the name of
Yeah.
something. Oh my god. That would be
Just
that
any
would be
movie, and I'm like, oh, nice.
that would be a fantastic stand-up comedy album title. Surprise lesbian.
Oh man, I wish I was a surprise lesbian. Well, I guess there's still time. And then my husband would be like, "What the fuck?" I'd be like, "Sorry, but I have to do it for the comedy album. I'm so sorry. We have to get a divorce, or else we have to change our entire relationship
Oh
dynamic." And
no,
I hope you're
no,
okay with
no!
that.
Don't get a divorce, Michelle. Keep your marriage, even if it's a sham, so that you can keep your benefits.
I do. Well, I'm the one providing the benefits,
Oh well,
so
so then,
through
man,
my work.
you hold all the power in this relationship.
I do. I'm a powerful beach. No, I'm not. I'm the one who sometimes will go and interrupt his World of Warcraft game so that he can hug me because I saw something on the TV that made me cry for a while. That's been happening a lot lately. I have been just a sad, mopey person where I'm just like, I saw some people who were in love on Netflix and I'll never have that. And I'm saying that to my
To
husband.
your
And he's like,
husband.
what? And I'm like, we're never going to have a disease where we can't be near each other or else we'll die. And therefore, our relationship is not the same as theirs in 5 feet apart. They have the true love going on, and we'll never have that because we just enjoy each other's company and have a productive relationship and a great method of communication. I'd rather have a disease where we can't be within 5 feet of each other. This is this is therapy with Michelle. Took us a while to
Oh,
get to a therapy portion.
that's fantastic.
Oh man, not for
There
him.
was
Poor husband.
there was another review here that I'm trying to find. Here it is. This one also just made me giggle. I'm not gonna read this person's name. This was a Two Skull review on the Shudder website. It says, and this is why I wanted to read it. It says, no bullshit. This movie might play better if you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. My man, go fuck yourself. It's so clearly supposed to be a parody. This parody of that movie would be better if you had never seen the movie that it's parodying. Maybe you just didn't get the movie, my friend. I saw that and I was like, hang on. Would it play better? I don't think it would.
On the plus side,
Especially
from
those
that
moments where
perspective,
they're like, oh, wait, no, you were Clarence the whole time. Everybody'd be like, who the fuck is Clarence?
I was about to say, I actually think this is one that you don't have to have context of "It's a Wonderful Life" to enjoy.
No,
I don't think
no,
there
you
was enough
don't.
parodying it where it's like I have to know what they're referencing. So I could kind of see what they're getting at if they're like, I don't want to compare this to a classic film. That perspective I get.
I
But
think
if they're like,
I think he's suggesting this movie was totally predictable because I've seen it before when it was called It's a Wonderful Life. I like
yeah,
to
the part where there's a
imagine.
guy running around murdering people
Right,
in the
right.
original 1946 classic,
Right.
that's my favorite
I
part
like
of
to
that.
imagine this Two Skull reviewer on the Shutter website. That was their thought process.
You just like to hate everybody based on their comments, and I try to be a little bit optimistic about it, and then you're like, no, and I'm like, I know people are awful. I know. I'm trying to be a rainbow sparkly lady. I've been crying a lot lately. Let me have hope in the world. It's Christmas.
It is Christmas, Michelle. I
Right
have
now? It's Christmas?
so
I
this
hope
is
so.
Christmas. What have we done?
Cool.
I'm not gonna do that, guys. I'm not gonna
That's
do that.
fair. That's
Well,
probably a good idea.
we hobbled through our first episode after a 2 week break. Again, Michelle, please remind me if I ever suggested that we never do this again. We clearly
That we
cannot
never
take any time
record?
off. No, that we never take a break of more than
Oh, yeah.
of more than 1 week between episode to episode.
Yeah.
We can't ever take a break like that again. It ruined us, sort of.
It felt so weird where I just kept looking at my calendar and being like, I still have 11 days until we have to record again. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with
Yeah.
my time? You know what I did with my time?
Watch a
Dave
lot
the
of
Diver.
movies.
No, well, that too. I got through my entire November watch list, which included some holdovers from Spooktober. So I'm excited. I'm going into December with only 60 movies to see. And that means I get to start working through some of my TV show backlog. And I'm so fucking excited. This is the true Christmas miracle. But what I've also been doing is Dave the Diver. I'm obsessed. Video game nerds, where you at? During the day, you dive, you explore the ocean, you catch fish, you collect seashells. At night, you run a sushi restaurant and you serve those fish to your customers. It's beautiful artwork. The music is so good. It's got a solid story. I'm super into the gameplay. I'm a completionist, and it lets me keep track of an encyclopedia where I know what kind of fish I captured already. And yesterday, while I was playing, I ate some tuna. So I felt like I was right there in the ocean with Dave the diver. I found out about it from Game of the Year. Fucking great game. Dave the
So
diver.
let me get this straight, Michelle.
Yeah.
In this particular video game, instead of being an imaginary character in an imaginary setting, committing imaginary violence against imaginary other living things, this is a game where the whole point is just like, we're going to pretend to murder fish and exploit them for our profit and benefit.
Oh yeah, they bleed and everything. It's a little unsettling because I
I was
we haven't talked about much, but
Oh,
I
Jesus,
do
this
like
got
go
way
back
more
and forth.
serious than I was expecting.
No, I do go back and forth between trying to be a little bit more vegetarian, reducing my meat intake, still being a pescatarian, but like there's some times where I'm like, fuck, I don't want to kill this octopus, but I do want to get level 10 on this dish and I need him to enhance it. So I feel awful about killing the octopuses. I
Well,
hate it.
but yet you don't stop.
No, God no, because I'm Dave and I have a mission
Please,
and I need to have the best sushi restaurant.
please be clear. JD is a meat eater. I just wanted to give Michelle hell about how she's promoting a video game where you're just like, oh, let's just slaughter fish and exploit them
Yeah,
for.
the octopus bleeds blue. It's so realistic and it really hurts my heart.
As you know, sometimes I like to play vegan's advocate. That's just a thing that I do.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't eat octopus in real life. It makes me feel
Have
awful.
you?
But you know what?
I,
Fuck
I've
that. I'm Dave.
I've never had octopus, but I have eaten squid. Have you had squid? Little
I have had
calamaris.
all the fish. Yeah, I'll
Ah,
I eat squid sometimes. I can't help it.
I like
But
fried
it's fair.
calamari.
Octopus I won't eat. I don't even like it. And I
Yeah.
don't know if maybe I did like it and I've tricked myself into not liking it, but they're too smart. It makes me feel bad. I try not to eat pork for the same reason. I don't care what other people do. But pigs and octopuses are just like a little too smart.
My favorite
Oh God,
thing.
we're gonna get people who are actually vegan who are mad at me. I'm sorry, I'm working towards it.
My favorite thing about the fried calamaris is every now and then when you get some fried calamari, you get the one where it's like just a whole ring of tentacles off in like a weird like crackly shape, and that's like it's like, oh, I'm eating a little Cthulhu. These weird
Yeah,
Lovecraft tentacles just going off all out in the space. Like I don't know. I just sometimes I
my
like to
first time
eat
having
tentacles.
squid, we were at a Greek restaurant, and this is when I was in high school. And my friend, it was literally just small squid that had been deep fried. It was the full
Yeah,
body,
yeah.
all the tentacles,
Uh huh.
and not
They're
like in a
delicious.
ring shape or anything. And so she picked it up, and the breading had fallen off of its face, so she could see its eyeballs. And she's like, "I see you," and then just ate it. And I was done. I was not having any more. I was like, "Man, that'd been kind of delicious," but then I was like, "No, I don't need my food looking back at me." Oh God.
So,
Oh God.
welcome
I
to
hope
our
that
new
makes some good
podcast. It's called We
vegans.
Eat Seafood.
Yeah. It's so delicious. Makes
This
me
is how
feel
quickly
awful.
things can derail in this world, guys.
Yeah.
It's some of you already know, some of you might be just finding out. Michelle, what are we watching next week?
Ah, fuck. The sacrifice game? Did I
The
remember that
sacrifice
correctly?
game. Yes,
Oh my
the
God. I can't remember
sacrifice
actually or
game.
realize I remembered. Oh my God. My brain's just off in the ocean right now. So I'm just surfing in my
Yeah.
head right now.
Guys,
Okay.
it's late.
Well,
We're getting to this one
it is.
later than we usually do. It's been a heck of a week.
Yeah.
I had two. JD sometimes hosts private trivia events for corporate gatherings. It's holiday season. Today I hosted two games, and in the second game I suggested that I would like to catch and grill and eat the players like salmon in the ocean because I thought that would be a funny thing to say. It went about as well as this just did. No, so it's the whole thing. These guys were like, our team is like the Salmonites, and I was like, Because it was this company called Salmons Group, and it's Sammons, and I was like, oh, wait, do you mean like Salmon's like your company, or Salmon's like the fish? And then they were like, I don't know, and I was like, you guys are cooler than them fish anyway, plus I don't want to grill and eat you, and they just... I have gone on for Michelle, you need to stop me when I do this, please. Everybody's just like,
hand
what
them a podcast business card, and you're like, we're here.
What the fuck is this guy rambling about? This is...
Oh, man. If we had an HR department, they would call you into the office and be like, you are not representing the podcast company very well. And
like, bitch, I am the podcast company.
I was going to say, he's representing it perfectly. And she'd be like, you hired me for this reason. I'll be like, you're fired. And she'd be like, okay, this is a weird gig anyway. Why do you need one full-time HR employee but nobody else? I'd be like, for the power trip.
Yeah, it's we got the whole structure planned out here. JD's the founder and Michelle is the CEO. That's how this all works out.
Oh, nice. I would prefer to be the CEO.
Well, that's because I mean, we all know who really has the power and who actually keeps the wheels running on this thing.
The octopuses.
I'm the spiritual guy to this, and then Michelle's the one who actually makes it happen.
You show up to the board of director meetings in like a Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, the founder's back.
Dude.
He's got to have a say. You
like
flop down at the executive table, put your feet up on it.
In like that second Tron movie where the dude just like breaks into his own building, and then they're like, oh, it's you. Except it'd be like that crossed with the Big Lebowski. Yeah, I just show up and be like, what's up, dudes?
Yeah. You got dude vibes.
I just be like, Michelle, thing's still cool, and she'd be like, yeah, it's all good, and I'll be like, sweet, I'm going home.
And I'd be like, I just lied to him. We are way over budget.
That's
we
right.
need to get rid of some of these interns. And then the interns are all octopuses who I felt bad turning down.
At the end of the day, the only reason a founder hires a CEO is because I just want somebody to lie to me and make me feel like everything's all right anyway, and then when it all falls apart, you take the fall. So, you know.
Well, JD, I have great news for you. Our podcast is the best podcast in the world, and everyone loves us immensely.
Everybody has also stopped listening. They're like, they're done talking about the movie. They're just going to ramble until this fades out one way or the other, and they're pretty much right.
Well, there's not much more to say then, except say goodnight, JD.
Good night, JD.
We Watch Shudder is a production of Rat Factory Media, your home for all of today's Rat Factoryist podcasts. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests of We Watch Shudder are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Rat Factory Media. But wait, aren't Rat Factory Media and We Watch Shudder the same people? Shut your cake hole, Charlie. Nobody asked you. We Watch Shudder is available free on all major podcast platforms, and the easiest way to support We Watch Shudder is also free. Just leave a rating and review on your platform of choice. Merge your consciousness with ours on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We're at We Watch Shudder on all those social media platforms. Or find us the old-fashioned way, on the web at WeWatchShudder.com or by email at mail@WeWatchShudder.com. Heck, you can even leave us a voicemail at 701-566-9510. No, seriously, 701-566-9510. Try it if you dare.